In today's episode, we are joined by Anne Pritz, who works for Bobby's Burgers. Bobby's Burgers is a collaboration with Bobby Flay. They continue to make waves in the restaurant space. And her and I talk a bit about what it's like working with Bobby, how they continue to create menu items that are seasonal but are so craveable. You won't want to miss this episode where we talk all about those new items. If you don't know me, my name is Jeremy Julian. I am the Chief Revenue Officer for CBS North Star. We wrote the North Star point of sale solution for multi-units. Please check us out at cbsnorthstar.com. And now on to our episode. Welcome back to the Restaurant Technology Guys podcast. I thank everyone out there for joining us. As I say each and every time, I know you guys have got lots of choices, so thanks for hanging out this week with us. Today, I am joined by somebody that I've gotten to know, ironically, via email as her and I have been talking. And so I want Anne to talk a little bit about her background. The cool part that I've loved getting to know her via email is just that she works for a brand that we've had one of her coworkers on before, and selfishly, I love their product. And why don't you introduce yourself before we jump into kind of what you get to do professionally, and then we'll talk a little bit about all the new and exciting things you guys got coming up.
Sure. Thank you for the very warm welcome, Jeremy. That's going to be a tough act to follow and a lot to live up to. But yes, I'm Anne Pritz. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Bobby's Burgers by Bobby Flay. And a brief background on me, I have been in the marketing department of some very well-known brands over my more than 2-decade-long career. So we won't talk about age.
You started when you were like 8, right?
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly right. But yes, I've worked for Tim Hortons in their marketing department on the US side of the business. I was there when they went public during kind of a spinoff, and we did a strategic plan for the US side of the business to really understand or help the brand to understand the difference between the US consumers and Canadian consumers. And then from there, went and did a very similar role to better understand a brand and consumers for Sbarro. I was part of their rebranding effort after their second restructuring to redefine that brand. And from there, moved into a behind the scenes role or a B2B role for the first time in coffee at Royal Cup Coffee and Tea. And now I'm with Bobby's at Bobby's Burgers, and we talk burgers, fries, and shakes all day long, each and every day.
I love it. And I know, like I said on the onset, had Patrick on a while ago, and I was just with him a couple weeks ago talking a little bit about, for those that are, I guess, have lived under a rock, don't even know who Bobby Flay is, walk through who is Bobby Flay from a marketer's perspective, because Patrick was all about the tech and what you guys were doing to make the operations better. But I'd love to hear your spin on who is Bobby Flay and why is the partnership so critical, and why is the burger the concept that you guys are growing with?
Certainly. For those who may not know Bobby Flay, and there are some out there, he has a 4-decade-long career as a world-renowned chef. And yes, he is the Food Network, as we like to say. But first and foremost, he runs terrific restaurants. He's known for his fine dining restaurants, his television shows on the Food Network, as well as his cookbooks. He's the first chef to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So he has built a brand for himself that is truly built on a talent and a skill that he is an expert in. And so when we transition to how does that support our brand, Bobby's Burgers by Bobby Flay, in a nutshell, we call it the Unbeatable Burger Experience. And it is built around Bobby's passion for just classic and craveable food done right. The menu, it focuses on burgers, fries, and shakes, and it uses only the highest quality ingredients with recipes, and this is a quintessential piece, recipes that are solely created by Bobby. So he is our R&D department. He's one guy, but he certainly knows what he's doing, and he sets trends. One of the things we'll talk about, I think, in a little bit will be some of our limited time offerings and how we shake up the menu a little bit. But the recipes that Bobby has created, they use, for instance, certified Angus beef. We cook everything to order. So you can have your burger with us done medium, if that's your preferred temperature, or you could even have it well done. So you can have it the way that you would enjoy having a true burger.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody'd have a well done burger, but that's beside the
Thank you for saying that. I will agree with you on that one, Jeremy. Yes.
And I'll get a little bit personal
Okay.
here. 20 years ago, when my wife was pregnant with our oldest,
Mhm.
she was the cook in the house and she got really sick with my oldest. And so I dug into really Bobby Flay's. I could go pull the cookbook off of the bookshelf in the kitchen. My Bobby Flay was one of the very first cookbooks. And I used to watch Iron Chef every Sunday night. I'd watch him on Iron Chef. And the thing I always loved about his stuff is it wasn't super pretentious.
Yeah.
While it was really high quality and made fresh, he also wasn't super pretentious. It wasn't this big elaborate scheme when you would watch him plate food. And for those, again, like you said, that are less familiar with
Yeah.
him, his stuff was always approachable, and he always came off as this very approachable character on TV that was like, hey, we're in the backyard grilling, let's grill a burger. And it was something that he might have a small twist and a little bit of spice here and a little bit of spice there, but nothing that was not approachable for the people that may have wanted to do that. Is that kind of where you guys come from?
That's exactly it. You said it very well. And I think one of my favorite stories to tell about Bobby is that he is a self proclaimed burger guy. That is one of the reasons that he created Bobby's Burgers, was because he just loves the quintessential all American hamburger. He believes in melting the cheese all the way. So if you're having that cheeseburger, you're getting cheese in each and every bite. And then he blends textures. One of the things that we're known for is to crunchify any burger at Bobby's Burgers. And that's just a thin layer of crispy potato chips added to any burger or sandwich within our restaurant. And that's complimentary so that you get that texture when you bite into it. But back to that story I was saying I love to tell about Bobby is, yes, he's a self-proclaimed burger guy. And what you might find if you're ever on set with him, at Triple Threat or Beat Bobby Flay, he's known to film a couple episodes in a day, and that's a lot of work. You might
Mhm.
find him in the kitchen making himself a burger. That is what he prefers to eat after a long day of filming. He likes to wrap it up with a burger.
I love that. For those that have not had a chance to experience Bobby Flay, whether it be on TV or even the concept that now is a brick and mortar, and I know you guys are growing, and that's part of why your coworker Patrick was on the show a while back, is talk us through what is the experience, what is the restaurant that you guys are building prior to us working our way into some of the new product offerings that you guys are putting out into the
Sure.
space?
So we're a fast casual burger concept. You would walk into our brick and mortar restaurant or even some of our non traditional locations and you order at the counter. You're going to have a team member that's going to be able to walk you through the menu. We have 7 burgers on the menu. We have 2 sandwiches, which one of them is a veggie burger that is the Beat Bobby Flay winning recipe veggie burger. It was so good on the show, he wanted to put it on the menu. We have 5 sides. We have 5 shakes, and it's just one of those things where, like you said, it's unpretentious. It's an unpretentious, very approachable menu. You're going to recognize the ingredients that are housed within each one of the incredible burgers, and you're going to have an experience that you're going to remember, which is terrific. So, order at the counter, the team will walk you through it. You'll be able to go sit down in the restaurant. In the traditional locations, we do have dining rooms and booths in that kind of dining experience. And then in some of the non-trads, it's more of a food court setting where you might take your
Mhm.
tray and go and enjoy your food amongst some other concepts with either travelers or entertainment goers in some of the casino restaurants with Caesars Entertainment.
Yeah, no, and I know you and I talked before I hit the record button about my experiences have been both at the two stores, the one in the Paris and the one in the Harris casinos back in Vegas. And from that perspective, it's great because you can walk up. And I had the experience most recently where I walked up and I asked hey, this looks really good, but that looks really good. And they walked me through, to your point, this is what I like, tweak it a little bit here, I tweak it a little bit there. But it was a very approachable, and the other piece that you talked about earlier, Anne, is just the quality of it.
Right.
It's not the run of the mill Whataburger, McDonald's, Burger King, but it has some of those familiar flavors that you're looking for when you sit down to have a cheeseburger for a lunch or dinner.
You can go with classic. You can get a Palace classic cheeseburger at Bobby's, or you can go a little more extreme. You can go nacho with brine jalapenos and have that little bit of a kick. But like you said, it is a burger's burger. It's 6 ounces of
Hmm.
certified Angus beef. And if you do have it grilled, Jeremy, as to medium temp, it's going to be juicy. You're going to bite into
Yes.
it and you're going to taste the beef in the burger. And of course, like we talked about the textures and the flavors that Bobby adds. But ultimately, it is burger forward, and you're going to enjoy eating that 6 ounces of certified Angus beef.
It was certainly a multiple napkin burger when I had it a couple of weeks
I
ago, that's for
might
sure.
steal that from you, Jeremy. So
Yeah,
thank you for
I
giving
love it.
me that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it certainly was because we were in the food court and I only had a couple of napkins. I'm sitting there eating and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to go get some more napkins. I was there with some coworkers
Yep.
at a trade show and so it was funny. So talk to me a little bit about menu innovation. I know we're here to really talk about kind of some of your new product offerings, and I'd love to walk through. You talk about your R&D department being Bobby.
Yeah.
That's got to be, for me, it'd be super intimidating. What? You want to put a new burger or a new shake on the menu? But talk me through, how do you guys even think about releasing these new products, and how does the process work internal to Bobby's? Because I'd love for our listeners that maybe are in a place that they don't have a system, they don't have a process to be able to do these things,
Right.
to know that you can execute it at a high level, that it's going to meet the flavor profiles that you guys are looking for.
Mhm.
I'd love to understand what your guys' process is as you guys go through that.
Yeah, with Bobby, what we tend to do, because he is well traveled, especially domestically and internationally, but what you would find in our limited time offerings or in our recipes that we're bringing forward are celebrations of his travel. They might be flavors that he's picked up along the way that he remembers, and he then crafts them into the space that it makes sense to have that flavor on a burger.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first LTOs that we had brought forward was a buffalo burger. And that's that classic chicken wing. You might say that's a chicken
Yeah.
wing, right? And so you think of how can you take that flavor profile and move it into the burger space. It's relatively easy when you have Bobby Flay ideating for you and being your R&D department. He's terrific as far as being open to feedback, and he loves creating things in the kitchen. Where we netted with this one was it's our toasted brioche bun, which we use in all of our burgers, that certified Angus beef patty that we talked about before. And then what's really interesting, I mentioned earlier that Bobby says melt the cheese. We have a sign in our kitchen that says Bobby says melt the cheese because he does believe that every bite should have cheese in it. So when you think about buffalo or buffalo chicken, you probably think blue cheese.
Yes.
Okay. And what you might also think are crumble blue cheese. That's
Crumbled
how
blue
you
cheese. I don't think of melted blue cheese. I don't know that I've ever had melted blue cheese unless it's on top of a wing and it's melted into the
it
buffalo
just
sauce. So,
happened to melt. No. And
yep.
so guess what? We use sliced blue cheese. So we use sliced blue cheese so that it can melt over that burger patty. Then you'll see us add that tangy barbecue sauce, cool ranch dressing to give it that cooling factor in your mouth. And then for texture, like I've been mentioning, watercress is the green. And again, that's a little bit of a surprise, that elevated burger experience that, again, I think you would, if Bobby, you're going to expect it to be a little bit elevated. But if you love that buffalo wing or that buffalo chicken flavor, you're going to be willing to try it because it's created by a chef who is proven to know what he is doing in the kitchen. And it's ironic because with that one being our first LTO, one of the unique things with Bobby's that I didn't mention in the upfront was you can substitute grilled chicken into any one of our burger recipes. So if you're a frequent guest and you just don't feel like a burger at Bobby's, that's an okay thing. we've got options. So if you're a tried and true buffalo chicken flavor person, you can have that experience at Bobby's and sub a grilled chicken breast in there, have it built, of course, the same way, and enjoy it on a bun.
Yeah. And I love that, walking through what that process looks like as a marketer. And now a word from one of our sponsors. Every restaurant operator understands the chaos of a restaurant kitchen during the meal rush. Restaurant Technologies Total Oil Management Solutions is an end-to-end automated oil management system that delivers, filters, monitors, and recycles your cooking oil, taking the dirtiest jobs out of your kitchen and letting your employees focus on more important tasks. Control the kitchen chaos with Restaurant Technologies and make your kitchen safer. No upfront cost. To learn more, check out rti-inc.com or call 888-796-4996. How do you tell that story? I guess I'd love to get inside of your brain that says, how am I telling that story? Because yes, it's great and it's easy to say, oh, this is a Bobby Flay created thing, but you still got to get it down to the consumer that is now coming in, and you're going to try and change them from buying the traditional burger that they came in for to try and drive that LTO, to drive the craveability factor and such. I'd love to get inside of your brain and how you think about these things prior to us talking about the latest LTOs that you guys have got out there.
Yeah, certainly. We do have Bobby Flay that we can lean on a little bit, right? So a lot of times what we do when we introduce new flavors or new features, we let Bobby announce it. There's nothing
Hmm.
more credible in any brand, a chef aside. So if the chef in your brand, whomever's leading your culinary innovation, if you will, when they're the one in the forefront talking about the food that they've created and that they have developed through whatever process that they adopt to do, the credibility comes when it's that individual
Hmm.
sharing the news. So oftentimes Bobby will get the spotlight. We'll have him share it across his social media channels, and not only the Bobby's Burgers brand, but in the Bobby Flay brand as well. So there's a bit of a following with Mr. Flay and all of his branded pieces. But then we lean into some of the very traditional aspects of marketing, if you will. So when you walk into the restaurant, you need to know that there's something new. So we rely on a little bit of tech, digital menu boards to help us timely deliver that message throughout the customer journey once they're inside, hopefully to influence their purchase occasion. As you mentioned, maybe they came in for that bacon crunch burger, but then they see this new flavor and it is craveable to them, and they might break from their norm and try it. But if not, what we would certainly hope is that we'll get an incremental occasion. That's really what we're
Yes.
after. Maybe I don't want to give up my bacon crunch burger visit that I had my heart set on today, but I'll come back later in the week, or I'll come back on the weekend with the family, and we'll all get to try that limited time featured offer.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, I was just going to say, I love that you guys continue to innovate, because I think oftentimes what I find with brands is that they get stuck
yes.
and it's, oh, it's working, let's not innovate. And then you
Yeah.
don't get that incremental visit, or you get I joke about it. My daughter doesn't eat beef. And so the fact that highlighting that you can change for a chicken breast, if there was a Bobby's in our neighborhood, it's, hey, I don't feel like a burger. Hey, you can get a chicken breast. So sometimes it's that education that says there are new things on the menu. And now a word from one of our sponsors. Every restaurant operator understands the chaos of a restaurant kitchen during the meal rush. Restaurant Technologies Total Oil Management Solution is an end-to-end automated oil management system that delivers, filters, monitors, and recycles your cooking oil, taking the dirtiest jobs out of your kitchen and letting your employees focus on more important tasks. Control the kitchen chaos with Restaurant Technologies and make your kitchen safer. No upfront cost. To learn more, check out rti-inc.com or call 888-796-4996. There are things that are coming out, because if I'm not feeling like the bacon crunch burger, because that's what I always get at Bobby's, now moving their purchase behavior to trying something new and then making it fantastic to eat. Now I have to weigh, do I want two things? Do I want one of these two things rather than just going for the one that I always would go for? Is that your guys' thinking for the marketing?
That is absolutely our thinking. And so it also just having the variety on menu. We are first and foremost burgers. It's in our name. It's center plate. It's the hero, whatever you want to call it. That is what we are all about. But we recognize your number of burger occasions in any given week or any given month. You could probably tell me how many times you eat a burger in a week or in a
Mm-hmm.
month. But when you give that variety of chicken, or like you said, you'll bring your daughter, you may want a burger, but she has a
Mm-hmm.
menu solution too. And I call some of those healthy halos, if you will. So again, we're a burgers, fries, and shakes all the way. But you've got to carve out on your menu some type of offering that speaks to those who might just have a different dietary preference, things like that. So we're highly aware of those things as well.
Yeah, no, I love that thought. And so, talk to me about your guys' latest menu innovation, because that's really where we're at. And we wanted to highlight some of the new things that you guys have
Yeah.
created, and ultimately where they're at. Why did they get created? And even really, I'd love for you to talk in
Yeah.
about kind of the LTO concept of it. But let's talk first about the items, and then we'll talk about how do you guys put them on and how do you guys take them off?
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, so moving into where we are now, this one is actually one of my favorites. So I'm excited to talk about it, as you can imagine. But it's our Greek Town burger. And so, again, earlier I had mentioned celebrating Bobby's travels. When I say Greek Town, you can probably in your mind kind of visualize
Melted cheese, it's got to be feta
it is
somewhere.
red.
It's got to be feta somewhere. In my brain, I'm like, melted feta. Normally I have crumbled
It's
feta on my Greek salad,
not.
but I'm sure you guys figured out some way to melt some feta cheese on top of
No,
a
the
cheeseburger.
good news is it's going to have those crumbles, but it is going to melt. So that's the great part. But you're spot on. So what we've got with the Greek Town burger is, again, that certified Angus beef patty, house-made tzatziki sauce, fresh cucumber, tomato, red onion, sliced with that feta cheese on top. And it is that perfect Greek experience that you would expect, whether it's in a salad, whether it's in a
Hmm.
gyro. But now we're Bobby Flay and we're Bobby's Burgers. You're gonna have it on a burger.
Yeah.
So
I might have to take a special trip to go have one of these burgers. I know there's not one of the stores close to me, but that sounds. The only thing you're missing is the Kalamata olives, I think, maybe.
yeah,
As I think about my
fair
Greek
enough.
salads and or my Greek products. So
Fair.
I love that. And really at the end of the day, it came from his travels and trying to create something that is approachable, but maybe not directly on the center, but just a slight navigation from that. Is that
That's
is that
exactly
fair?
right. That's exactly right. And we're in the summer months. And you mentioned Greek salad, but I think tomatoes, cucumbers, red onion, it is that season where you're going to want the fresh veggies and you're going to want to enjoy them in every setting, right? It's a little bit easier to
Yes.
say eat your veggies in the summertime. So why not put it on a
Absolutely.
burger?
That's
Really,
funny you say that.
yeah, it really is good.
So I know that it's not just the
Right?
burger though that's kind of part of this new offering. So talk me through some of the other things because again, I think you guys are hitting the summertime, you guys are hitting the warmer weather. I don't think of Greek salad or Greek food at all in
Yeah.
January. Probably it's too cold. I don't think about that, but in summertime for sure. So help me understand some of the other things that you guys have created because I'd love to learn a little bit more about it because I quite frankly, it's like one of those things I'm like, all right, I need to find my way there.
We want you to come. We want you to come to Charlotte. We want you to come to the training center. We'll put you through your paces and you can make these burgers yourself too. So we'll,
Yeah,
we'll take
love
you up
that.
on that. But no, you're spot on. Bobby also recognizes the need for innovation in sweet, in treat, right? So the way to cap off your meal at Bobby's Burgers by Bobby Flay is a milkshake. Bobby's favorite is our pistachio. So if you like pistachios, you will absolutely love this milkshake. I do catch him every once in a while taste testing when he's in the kitchen, the pistachio shake. But what we have now featured as a sweet treat is a blueberry cheesecake milkshake.
That sounds so decadent and so
Okay.
summer and so
It
amazing.
is. And what makes it even better is the fact that we use custard for our milkshake. So just again, mouthfeel, texture, just
Mhm.
think about that. You can taste it as we talk about it. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
thick. The custard is blended with blueberry. Then we make our whipped cream in house. So it's house made whipped cream that we put on top, more of that blueberry drizzle. And then it's not cheesecake without a little bit of graham cracker. So it's got the graham cracker crust expression as sprinkled on top of the whipped cream. So blueberry
That sounds
cheesecake in
amazing.
a cup, Jerry. Come try it.
Not that it's good for the sales on that side, but I'm glad there's not one too close to me because I probably would go for both of those products. That sounds amazing.
Yes.
And where I think they're on the menu now, talk me through your guys' theories on the LTO type of thing because I think again, menu innovation is really
Yep.
critical, create reasons for them to come in, but there's also a scarcity effect when it's always
Yep.
there. And there's certain items that are always there, but then there's things that you guys decide to take on off seasonally because of lots of different reasons. But I'd love your guys' philosophy on that.
Yeah. What we're doing now, and again, we're still relatively a new brand, right? We're still young. So we are learning. And that's really what we're wanting to do with these LTOs is bring forward, yes, innovations and flavors that are proven and speak to Bobby's travels as we've committed. But we also want to learn what works. So of these craveable flavors that we've talked about before, is there an opportunity ever to have the buffalo burger live on the menu permanently? What if there is a significant demand for the blueberry cheesecake milkshake year round? So, what we're wanting to do is enable our guests, of course, to try these products, but then to give us the feedback to say, hey, you know what? That Greek Town burger that I had last week, I want that to stay on the menu. Bobby, do you hear me? And we could talk a little bit of tech on how we do that and guest feedback. We use Ovation for that purpose. Yep.
Amazing company, amazing guys,
And
amazing founder,
it,
great people.
incredible. And the way that they distill the information and serve it up to brands to be actionable is like none that I've ever seen. So quick, have to say that. But we do value our customer feedback and we ask for it in several spots throughout the journey. And then we utilize Thanks as our loyalty program also. And we speak to those guests. We serve up exclusive offers to those guests, as you can imagine. They know about these LTOs, they know about these flavors. And when we get feedback from third party ordering sites that they love those flavors too, it all aggregates together so that, again, we can make those informed decisions on maybe where we've really hit a home run with an LTO, whether that's now or in the future, or where maybe we missed a little bit of the boat. In my previous experience in some of the other concepts that I worked in, regionality played a huge part in the
Yes.
success or lack thereof for LTOs and flavors on menu, right? And so, us being able to learn and understand how that fits into the burger space from a regionality perspective is really important to us. Long story short, what I see us doing with these LTOs, Jeremy, throughout this sort of infancy stage as we continue to build the brand is succeed swiftly where we do. Fail fast is the other coined term. But what we would do is take learnings from where maybe we've missed the boat at per our guest feedback and tweak and move forward.
Yeah, no, and I love that thought because again, I think you've got to create reasons for people to come in, and then if it becomes something that everybody just loves and you guys can execute well, now it turns into one of those things that you guys decide to move into the menu permanently and drives those incidental visits to the stores. For those, you've talked about the infancy of the
Yep.
brand. For those that are not familiar and want to be a consumer and are like,
Yep.
all right, I got to figure out how to get my Greek burger. I got to figure out how to get my blueberry shake, blueberry cheesecake shake. Where can they find Bobby's? I already alluded to the 2 stores in Vegas, but I'd love to. Where can they find a Bobby's Burgers and then to go consume it? And then obviously you guys got your feedback channel so they can give you that.
Yes. Okay. So we have 9 restaurants in total as it stands today. There are 5 in partnership with Caesars Entertainment. So those 5 break down. There's actually 3 in Las Vegas, 1 in Atlantic City, and 1 in New Orleans. And then if you're a Yankees fan, and I don't know if I'm going to get booed or cheered right now, but
I happen to be a Yankees fan, so I'm sure I'll get some hate mail for that, but that's okay.
so sorry to set you up for that. But we do have a Bobby's Burgers inside Yankee Stadium. So if you're there to catch a game, you'll be able to grab a Bobby's Burgers while you're there. We just opened in Orem, Utah this past December with franchisee out that way with intent to open additional restaurants in the state of Utah. Phoenix Airport, if you're flying Southwest through the new terminal in Phoenix Airport, you'll see us there. And then we touched briefly on what we have here in Charlotte. Charlotte is our headquarters, our corporate headquarters, but our restaurant here also serves as our test kitchen and training center. So it is a full fledged restaurant, serves every item on the menu, but it's also where franchisees will come experience the training side of things and all of the tech that we have housed within the tech stack and within the restaurant. So that's really the showpiece, if you will, where we can help to teach about Bobby's Burgers by Bobby Flay.
Is that also where you catch Bobby with his pistachio shake
It's
testing
been
in the
known.
restaurant downstairs?
It's been known.
I love that. I love that. And so you talked a little bit about how you guys go to market. I love that you guys are in non-traditional and in traditional brick and mortar locations. So if I'm sitting here listening and I'm like, you know what, I want to be on this rocket ship that you guys are at the infancy stages of, how do they learn more about engaging with your guys as a franchise partner potentially and putting them into a city near them?
Thank you for that. So we are actively seeking experienced multi-unit restaurant operators to join our system. They might be a pizza franchisee, a taco, a chicken. You might have those in their portfolio, but not burger yet. That's who we're looking for. We're doing statewide or large metro deals, and we're not after world domination here, Jeremy. So, what we're looking for specifically is an operator who knows their market, who knows where our fast casual concept is going to fit and be successful. So, where you can learn more is, of course, our website. So, bobbysburgers.com/franchise. As we like to say, franchise with Flay. There's a little bit of a form to fill out, nothing daunting. And what we would do then is receive your information and we would give you a call. And we would chat through what your experience looks like. And you could share with us what it is about Bobby's Burgers that appeals most to you and continue conversations if we find that you're a match and we're a match for you. It's just as
I love it. And I would say, and I'm not saying this just because you're on the call, you and I talked a little bit about it pre show. the amount of investment that you guys have put into not only creating great products, but helping a franchisee to be successful is something that I applaud. You've got great market. You guys have built a fantastic leadership team that really is going to help these franchisees succeed. And so if I were putting out a word of encouragement to somebody that's at minute 31, 32 in the recording, really, if you're looking for a franchise, these guys have gotten it figured out. They hired some people that have been in the space for a while that really get it and know what it takes to make things work within the franchise community. It's not just let me go sell as many franchises as I can. It's how do I help you to be successful as a franchisee in your space. And so I applaud the efforts and the amount of investment that you guys have already put into it, because having watched from the sidelines for the last couple of years, it's been fun to watch it continue to grow and watch the investments. And it is also non-traditional and traditional. So if you've got a space that's in a hospital or in just different places that you might not think, oh, this will work, they've figured out ways to do that because they've automated the tech and made it really easy to operate the stores. Sorry, I'm just a plug for you guys, but I've watched it over the last couple of years and it's been fun to watch.
No, I appreciate that. And you're spot on. We put together a tech stack that we feel does set a franchisee up for success. We vetted, we took the time to build the right sort of architecture when it comes to what is needed to run the restaurant. I love your plug for the non-traditional and traditional, Jeremy. We talk a lot about our 400 square foot engine. You might have heard it before and you're
Yes.
smiling about it. So our kitchen is designed in 400 square feet to be able
Yep.
to pump out over 400 burgers per hour. So volume isn't an issue. Space, you got to build around that square foot engine, right? But man, I tell you, it can fit anywhere.
Yeah.
Some of the non-treds have shared kitchens. Great. Some of them we can house, of course, in our brick and mortars. We can house everything all in one unit. But ultimately, it's the efficiency in the kitchen design and the tech that supports it that's going to deliver the consistency of product that we demand, and most certainly is Bobby Flay's vision when it comes to eating food that he has crafted. The rest.
Yeah, no, and I think you can go back and listen for those that want to go that episode that I did with Patrick, because the amount of kitchen tech that you guys have is pretty remarkable. A lot of people think about tech, and we talked about, everybody says, oh, point of sale, or your online ordering, or your third party delivery, or your feedback, or your loyalty.
Yeah.
All great pieces of tech. You guys have also invested quite a bit in that. And some of the kitchen technology is really where I was impressed when I learned more about it. And I've watched how creating consistent product out of the kitchen, because you guys do cook everything from scratch and have to melt the cheese on the burgers because it's Bobby's way and all of those kind of things. I love that you guys have made those investments, because I think a lot of restaurant brands are like, we're just going to buy whatever the oven is or buy whatever the grilled top is and such. And I think it's great that you guys have done those investments prior to blowing up, because I've seen too many brands get out to 20 or 30 stores and go, screwed up and we need to go back and retrofit. And then now the franchisees are frustrated about it.
Yeah, no, we've been very purposeful about the decisions that we've made. And we're seeing a lot of success with all of our partners. And if we find down the line, Jeremy, we have one of those oh no moments, the thing that I'm super confident about with the team that I work for and work with every day is we'll evaluate it, we'll make a change, we'll make it right, and we'll move forward. So that's the best part.
And thank you so much for sharing more of the story of where Bobby's came from, where you guys are going, really how you guys think about these things. Is there anything that we missed on today's show that you would want to share with our audience?
I would just say, again, we look forward to franchising and growing throughout the United States and internationally. There's some news that will be coming out soon. We have a great pipeline of franchisees and announcements coming, but we definitely want to chat with more. So again, if you're that multi-unit experienced operator and you don't have burger in your portfolio, Bobby's Burgers might be the fit for you. So we hope that we'll get to talk.
Hopefully you guys find somebody here in Texas so that I can go another notch on my belt loops, just a little bit higher for those shakes and burgers.
Perfect.
So, and thank you so much. Thank you for what you guys continue to do. To our listeners, guys, I know you guys got lots of choices, so thanks for hanging out with us. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the show, give us a rating on your favorite podcast player, and to make it a great day.